I'm here at Lancaster Central Market in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's the oldest farmers market in America. Let's see what they have. If you are in downtown Lancaster, Pennsylvania, you have to make a stop at the Lancaster Central Market. The market is open year-round every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. It was born in 1730, and this beautiful brick building you see here today was built in 1889, so there is a lot of history here. There is such a wide variety of vendors at this market, from produce to meat and seafood, fresh milk, eggs, and cheese, coffee and tea shops, herbs and spices. There are florists and distilleries, bakeries. It's just such a fun place to look around and shop. This particular stall was so interesting. It's Long's Horseradish, and they are the longest running business at the Lancaster Central Market. They've been there for over 60 years, I believe, but they were jarring their own fresh horseradish right there. Lancaster is riddled with Amish soft pretzel stands, and these looked super buttery and fluffy. I feel like you can never go wrong if you pick up a pretzel in Lancaster. Lastly, I wanted to mention that in addition to these beautiful ingredients, there are several prepared food stands at the market, so if you're there looking for lunch, you can find it. So I would like to share my Lancaster Central Market haul with you today. First up, I bought a little jug of homemade eggnog for my husband and me to enjoy on Christmas Eve. That's a little tradition of ours. We go to Christmas Eve Mass and then come home and make a yummy steak dinner together. And we each like to have a glass of eggnog with a little bit of rum, like spiced rum in it. And we sip on that and have cheese and cracker appetizers while we prepare dinner for our family. So I think we're gonna really enjoy that. It looks ultra creamy. You can see at the bottom, there's all these little flecks of cinnamon and nutmeg. That is gonna be really delicious. Next up, I bought my husband a little jar of the fresh horseradish. They were jarring it at the market, and they said that as long as I refrigerate it today, it should last up to 3 months, which is awesome. We like to make our own cocktail sauce if we're having shrimp or seafood, so we'll put horseradish into that. We also, speaking of our steak dinner, like to have a horseradish cream sauce whenever we have steak or brisket too. My husband loves to smoke brisket, and it goes really nicely with a creamy horseradish sauce. So he will love that. It was interesting at the stand, they had an oscillating fan, and I asked them, are you trying to have the smell of your horseradish wafting through the aisles because that's what drew me in. I was stalls and stalls away from this stand and I could smell the horseradish very strongly. And they said yes, but also it's so that they can actually do their job and physically breathe because it's so potent. So that made me laugh. It smelled really good. They had like Bloody Mary mixes there and different horseradish mustards. So some really tasty looking products there. I have a gift exchange for my husband's side of the family coming up, and I have my sister-in-law who has so many diverse interests. It's really always fun to shop for her. I tend to get her a lot, and I'm very grateful for that because she's a really fun person to shop for. So I got her a couple of Lancaster County favorites. I got her some Stroop waffles, which are these thin little cookies, almost like Italian pizzelles, but they're more caramely graham crackery-ish in taste, I would say. And then usually there's some sort of caramely filling. Hers have ground espresso on the outside and dark chocolate too. So those are gonna be amazing. That was a fundraiser at my kids' school. Stroop waffles, which is a Lancaster business. They're so good. And then at the market, I found her this mushroom blend, which is actually a product that I've seen something similar to at Trader Joe's, but it's 3 different kinds of wild mushrooms that are dried and then ground into a powder, and it has an umami flavor to it. So it's sort of a seasoning that you would sprinkle on top of eggs or pasta or whatever foods you want, just to give it a flavor boost. So I thought that would be really fun to experiment with. My sister-in-law actually forages for wild mushrooms on her own homestead, which is amazing. I've tried some of them before. They were so good. What do we have? Chanterelles or something? Anyway, they were really, really delicious. And I showed you the beautiful mushrooms at this stand. So I thought she would really appreciate the powdered mushroom blend. And then finally, I didn't get any clips of this because my daughters and my hands were such a mess at the time, but Margaret and Claire, my 2 youngest girls, were with me, and they each tried a mini whoopie pie. So Claire had a mini pumpkin one, and Margaret tried the red velvet. And they were gone within moments. So I'm gonna speak on their behalf and say 10 out of 10 on the mini whoopie pies. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I'll see you again soon.